body fat percentage because the industry as a whole is very fixated on the body fat percentage, and I think particularly women have this idea that they need to be
I think men do too.
I think and really when women are healthy between 20 and 30. Sometimes some women can be over 30 and be very healthy and look great. So
and that's a conversation that's fairly broad around the different types of fat as well, right?
Yes,
so we've got the subcutaneous fat, which is that under our skin, which is what you see in the mirror.
Yeah.
We've got, I call it visceral, but some people say visceral.
Visceral.
Visceral fat is the fat that is around our organs, or the viscera, which is our internal organs. And the one that gets forgotten about a little bit is ectopic fat. So ectopic fat is fat that sits inside of tissue. Yeah. So it's think of it, and this is a really simplified way of looking at it, but think of it as your marbled steak, that has the fat through the muscle tissue of your steak.
Delicious.
So but no one really thinks about the ectopic fat, but it plays a role. Yeah. And you can have like fatty liver disease, right? Now they're not going to be kilos and kilos necessarily, but they'll be, it'll affect your skin. It'll make a difference, right? So, and that's so for any population, the importance of differentiating the visceral fat versus the subcutaneous fat is really important from a health perspective.
Yes.
Because people can be super healthy and be obese, right?
Oh yeah.
Because it's all subcutaneous.
Yeah,
right?
Endurance athletes are a prime example.
Well, you look at swimmers, right? Yeah, swimmers are usually not, you don't see, some are, but most are pretty smooth, they look pretty soft. I hope I didn't offend any swimmers all of a sudden, but they don't look like bodybuilders, right? Going to get on stage, right? They're not shredded. They're lean, but and they're fit and they're healthy, and it's all relative. But so it can really skew what people expect.
Yeah.
And they think they're going to get on the scale and be 10% as a guy, and they end up at 18, and they go, "Hang on a minute, how did that happen?" Well, it's not just what you see in the mirror; it's the visceral fat. And people can be relatively lean and have high visceral fat. It's absolutely possible. But from an overall health perspective for the general population, the beauty of it is that you can modify both. Like you can drop your visceral fat, you can drop your subcutaneous fat. But the education piece for the client is around that visceral fat and being mindful of that. So the skin folds, for example, pretty sort of rudimentary, but not really of much value for anything. The percentage doesn't matter. I mean, it's the distribution.
You should be looking at the mass.
The fat mass matters, and the muscle lean body mass matters.
Yeah.
And the muscle. I mean, we're all pro muscle building, but
100%.
But for any population, and from a non-athletic population, the value of maintaining skeletal muscle mass throughout the lifespan is enormous. And
there's a lot of research.
There's a bunch of it. There's volumes and volumes of research that says that pick anything, any condition, any disease, any injury, any illness, even burns victims do better with a larger amount of lean muscle mass, as opposed to someone who doesn't. So, but then, sort of improved independence, activities of daily living, reduce your risk of falls. People often associate increased muscle mass with an increased metabolism, and that is true, but it's maybe 1 or 2-3%. It's not, because you've got a lot of muscle doesn't mean you've got a metabolism that's 30% higher than someone else. Yeah. It's little, but it does exist technically.
But in saying that, if you have more skeletal muscle mass, your calorie intake should be higher.
To maintain the muscle mass. So there's a bunch of research on why percentage doesn't mean anything.
Because really, if you lose weight on scale, and potentially you could lose 10 pounds of lean body tissue, your fat mass doesn't change, but all of a sudden your body fat percentage has gone up because you've lost the lean tissue.
Yeah, and that happens a lot with challenges, and I don't know if everyone watching this has probably experienced it. Really common for people who undertake a challenge, who may be just training fairly ad hoc, who then I'm going to commit to this. I'm going to commit to this 6-week challenge. I'm going to rip in. I'm going to train 4 days a week. I'm going to do my HIIT sessions, and they'll do their scan. They go, oh, geez, they lost muscle and they gained fat.
Thank you so much for listening. Thanks, Dr. Chris, and thanks, Pete, for your expertise today. If you need any more information or you would like to ask a few more questions, please feel free to contact us via our website or all the social channels. And thank you once again.